Hi, Chicanos, how's it going? Let's talk about Reies Tahina. First of all, culture is power, history is knowledge. This video, I got a lot of notes. I don't know where to begin. He was born 1926 in Texas, Fall City, died 2015 in El Paso, Texas, which is crazy because that's when I started learning, researching, making my first videos, and only if he was still alive to get that interview. So, Reies Lopez Tahina was a pastor in the 1950s. In 1956, him and 17 families wanted to buy land in Texas, which was too expensive. So they went to Arizona, bought 160 acres for $1,400. While trying to rebuild God's land was the plan, and self-educate for family and community, and they received this land that they bought, building a school for themselves, trying to build a community for themselves. They were having trouble. The school was burnt down, and the state and the city was against the community being built by Reyes, Tahina, the people that he was leading. So Reyes built a school, it got burnt down. Reyes was trying to have self education, but the system was trying to say you cannot have your kids not going to school, but we are homeschooling. And they were saying, no, you cannot homeschool. The point of this is that another reason why they didn't want to go send their kids to public schools because an 8 years old young Chicana girl probably was raped and murdered while she was waiting for the bus stop. Body was found miles away. That is another reason why they did not want to send the school kids to the public school. But Reyes Tahina is known for the land grants right. He's known, if you know, doing his research on land grant rights. So let's start from he was fighting with the state, first of all. First of all, he was in Arizona, so he was dealing with those problems, but he was going beyond Arizona. He was learning about the Southwest. He was learning about the rights between the U.S. Constitution and the Treaty of Guadalupe, between the native indigenous people and Spain, between Mexican and the indigenous people. So the land grants rights was always allowed between supposedly the U.S. and Mexicans when the Treaty of Guadalupe was taken, that those Mexicans were allowed to keep their land, in which it was taken away during the Great Depression. Also, going as far as Spain he went from Spain, knowing Spain rights, Mexican land grants, and the United States land grants. So let's start with him. This is all in the 50s. Most of it is all in the 50s. So in 1959, he was sending letters to the U.S. senators. He was sending letters to the president of the United States and in Mexico. And in his time, he met with a group called the Brotherhood of Jesus, who was laced him up about Thomas Cateron, a leader of the Santa Fe Ring, a group of ranchers and government powerful lawyers who systematically disposed land grants of the claims between 1848 and 1904. Changing the name and part of it from Terra Arloma grant to the Forest Service, while trying to battle with the state of Arizona, finding out that these people were being funded by Rockefeller. The U.S. Senator Joseph Montoya said that Reyes is bringing false hopes to his people by trying to reclaim land grants, land rights, and of the understanding of building a South community for his people. So, with that being said, let's start with the treaty. Let's start in 1959. He went to Guadalajara, Jalisco, which he retained the document of Temple Barrio for 25 cents. This would help understand the Treaty of Guadalupe. This would help understand the rights that they had as a people. With this document being said, he finally achieved an acceptance from the President Adolfo Lopez of Mexico to have a meeting. And in this meeting, he was going to show these documents that he obtained. But while he was at the post office, his documents were stolen. So, man, throughout this time, he was learning about the General National Archives, a meeting with lawyers of laws of Indians, Spanish Empire, and the Treaty of Guadalupe, which guaranteed land grants to the original owners. This is how far he was going. This is how much effort he was putting in. In his time of this, he was having to deal with being called a radical, being called an enemy of the state, while pursuing education of land grants and land rights. His brother, he had a warrant out for his arrest. His brother, at a courthouse hearing, ran, and Reies was the getaway driver. Reies Tahina was a bad example for his people, said by the United States government, in which he's not no one they should be looking up to.